Hello, and welcome to ComiCentric, issues number 12. On today's episode, we're actually outside our little patio outside of Nostalgic, just hanging out with Mari and Pete. We're going to be talking about El Sonámbulo and El Muerto, created by Rafael Navarro and Javier Hernandez, both legends in their own respect. Together, they have about 50 years of independent Latino comic book experience. Both of them great men, and they were gracious enough to lend me a little bit of their time. And if you stick to the end of the podcast, you get to hear that. But before that, me, Mari, and Pete, Burro el Último, are going to discuss a little bit of history about them, and hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you.
You're right, it was the wife. So they were reunited as the husband and wife. In Encanto?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wait, are you recording already?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Don't worry, I'll take that out.
I mean, we could just lead our way back
No,
into
I'm
it.
just really proud of that.
Yeah.
He made a big deal about that.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Someone should do a fan art
Mm-hmm.
where they, cross them over. And then the kid from, what's that movie?
Coco?
Coco.
Yeah.
Because Dia de los Muertos, he could be dressed as El Muerto next to the Encanto family.
Mhm.
Wow.
Full circle.
We're bringing it back.
It's canon.
Yeah.
I'm just going to Photoshop it. Too easy to draw that.
How
But I
to-
feel like he would love that.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So as I was saying earlier, we're going to be talking today about, these 25-year-old comics
Mm-hmm.
that, people were talking about back in the day.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it started.
No.
It was weird. It was weird. I'm going to cut it out.
No, that sounded good. You
That's
sounded
not good.
confident. I feel like as we've done more,
Mm.
you've become way more comfortable and just confident in your leading of the
Mm-hmm.
podcast.
Yeah.
And it's hard, too, because I sometimes don't know where I'm going.
We know. But we don't either, so we're all on that journey.
Okay.
It's like that line from, what is it, The Office? Where he goes, sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's going to go.
But there's going to be a period at the end.
Yes,
So, okay.
or exclamation or question. But
Well,
either way.
I mean, in this one, we're just going to talk about, Del Muerto and Rafael Navarro and
Yes.
Javier Hernandez. They were in on Saturday
Mm-hmm.
to do a signing, and they were gracious enough to give me at least 10 minutes of their time
Yes.
and talk about that. Now, Pete, you obviously know about these books. You
Yeah.
kind of grew up with them 25 years or
25
so.
years.
Yeah, you read them 25 years ago?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Not when they were at Galaxy?
No. You know what? It's not true. I actually read it before then.
Uh-huh.
And I've told Javier this story.
Uh-huh.
There was a store in the Montebello Mall,
Right.
and it was a Mexican furniture store.
Oh.
And all this furniture from Mexico, and it was weird, right?
Okay.
And I remember, I don't know what I was doing, but I was just killing time. So I was walking around the mall.
Yeah.
And I walked in there, and I saw a stack of Muerto comics
At the furniture store?
at the furniture store, and they were signed, and they were for sale.
Did you ever ask him about
Yeah,
that?
and he was like, "Oh yeah, I love that store."
Oh, so he just shops there and
Yeah,
he just left
yeah.
something?
What mall? One
The
mall?
Montebello Mall. It was right there. It's like a T-Mobile now.
Something
or
that Sol?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I had to vaguely remember that.
And I remember, I was like, "They have comics here. Like, I'm gonna buy this comic book." Right?
And that's where you bought his first.
Yeah, that was the first time I bought that Muerto.
Somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah, like late 90s. I think it was like the second or third year it was out or something like that. It was
Wow.
really early on.
And he loved the store enough to drop books there.
Yeah, he was selling comics. I mean, I've spoken to him about it before, and he said that it's just he knew the owner, and he figured people that like stuff from Mexico might like this book.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was the first time, and and then I did. So I was actually talking to Mark about this earlier.
Uh-huh.
My whole deal with Javier is so weird.
He's your real father.
Yeah, possibly. No, because I knew of him from that book, and then I remember going to Comic-Con maybe,
Mhm.
and they announced the movie,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh shit!" I go, "I have that comic book, right?" And then he would do events and stuff. We went to this. It was a museum event
In Pico Rivera.
in Pico Rivera.
Yeah, he famously has a picture of
Yeah.
us in the background in one of these.
And this is before we knew him.
Yeah.
What museum in Pico Rivera?
Well, it was like a community center or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no museums in Pico Rivera.
And we'd always cross paths, but we never met.
Mm.
And then I remember one day, so I bought the store in September,
Mhm.
and it was like maybe like January, February
Mhm.
that following year. And he walked into the store and he was like, "Oh, I think it's time we finally got meet or something like that." And I was like, and it was just so weird.
But you didn't meet him at Galaxy when he came
No.
down? Because he came
No,
down.
he would come in or one. I never met him then. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, because that's where I met him,
Yeah.
and that's where I read his book, and that's when I was like, "Oh, shoot, we got a big star
Yeah.
coming into the store." You know, he would
Yeah.
come in with Juan sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, he'd sell the books there.
No, yeah.
You know,
And I didn't meet him until like years later. Like I would run into him. I think I went to a couple signings, a couple events and stuff.
Yeah.
But actually meet him like wasn't until like I owned the store.
like build a relationship
Yeah.
type of meet. Yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh, I thought we should meet. Da, da, da. Could I do
Yeah.
a signing?" And I'm like, I guess. You know? Like,
Yeah. Like when we went to that museum thing,
Yeah,
and it was he had his art table there
Yeah,
or something, right?
yeah,
It was like very.
it was very Jack Kirby. Like
Yeah.
he had his art table
Yeah.
on display.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I'll make fun of him now. Next time I see him. Be like, "Oh, you didn't bring your table in your trunk of your car?"
Now, Maddie has never read the books.
I've read the. What version would you say that
This is
is?
the most recent version.
Okay,
Yeah.
of the El Muerto.
The dance
The
of the
The one with the purple cover.
The
Okay,
Days of the Dead.
Yeah,
Days of
that
the-
one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's totally different than the one we read. Well, not
But,
totally
I mean,
different.
I have heard of Javier before I worked here.
Yeah.
Because I was one of those like hipster, like I went to every art walk, art show, the El Muertos
Oh,
festival,
okay.
pop up. I was at all of those.
Mhm.
Okay.
I knew him from afar,
Mhm.
or like not him, but his artwork.
Yeah.
And then when I finally met him, it was at the store for free comic book day, and
Right.
he had those little pig stickers.
Yeah.
And he was cool. And then I started working here, and I saw him all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's very synonymous with Day of the Dead. You know, his books basically
I
revolves
think
around
the
that.
first time we had like a full conversation, I was like, "You really should do a full color this and this and this," and he was like, "Okay."
Wow. Straight up just telling him what to do at that
Well,
point.
the customers asked for it.
Yeah, that's the other thing that tripped me out because I always knew that he had a fan base,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize how big or wide his fan base was until I went to a convention in Tucson.
Oh, wow.
I was in a convention in Tucson, and I was friends with the organizer of that show.
Mhm.
And we went to like this AfterCon thing. We're hanging out, and then he came up to me and he introduced me to someone else, and he goes, he's like, "This guy hangs out with Javier Hernandez regularly." And I'm like, "Okay."
I think it's one of those things of like you're just so used to it, and
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be a big deal to somebody
Mhm.
else.
It's like you're his best friend.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Wow.
But that and then the first year you worked here, right? Didn't we have like a bunch of random people like, "Oh, Javier Hernandez has his
No,
book here."
yeah, and it wasn't even people like not to be. I'm gonna throw out some stereotypes. I'm so sorry, but I'm just gonna use like my friends and people I know as examples. But like the dudes that look have a Che Guevara shirt and they have long hair and a
Mhm.
green army jacket
Yeah.
and they're into zines and like reconnecting with Mother Mexico, and they're the ones I know that would read it. But literally, like these tattooed, cool like skaters came in, and then this like really skinny white girl and some Asian girl with their boyfriends were like, "Oh my god, like
Yeah.
Javier Hernandez books are here!" And I was just like,
Wow.
"You guys know him?" They're like, "Yeah, is there more?" I was like, "No, that's all we have." It's like he comes here. They're like, "He comes here." I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my god, how often does he come here?" I was like, "I don't know. He just like drops in." Like they were all just so excited, and I was just like, "I'm gonna tell Javier."
No, yeah, he has a very niche following.
Remember
That's,
the free comic day? You had to take those girls over to go introduce.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They were so shy about
Yeah.
it. They didn't know how to go approach him or anything
Mhm.
like that. To the point where, do you want to meet him?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, can we? Yeah, come on." I basically grabbed him by the hand. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
and take
let's
him
go,
over there.
take him over
Yeah.
there, meet him. And he was very nice to him. You know,
Yeah.
I just dropped him off and took off.
I mean, his art is really cool. It's very like recognizable. It's
Yeah.
super graphic.
Yeah.
So once you make something super just recognizable and graphic, like it's easy to spot and it just sticks in your brain.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, for the time, especially when it first started, it was very indie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite
Mhm.
like it. You had to go dig deep
Yeah.
to get something like that.
Yeah.
Well, see, and then going back to that
Mhm.
point, I have that first Muerto comic,
Right.
and I remember reading that comic, and I didn't see the movie until like years later.
Oh, you didn't actually see the movie?
No, I didn't see it until like way later on.
With Wilder Valderrama? and
Yeah.
stuff?
And I remember seeing that movie, and I'm like, "What is this?" Like, it's not. I mean, there's elements from that
Of
original
the comic,
of the
yeah.
comic
Yeah.
in there. But so the movie, I feel like it has like that Crow vibe,
Yeah.
right? That first comic I read, yeah, it gets so dark and the whole thing.
More mysticism though.
There's no more
Mhm.
mystery, but it also has like kind of like a Mike Allred vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what is this, right?
Trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it's interesting now because now the stuff he's doing now, I feel like he's taking elements from that movie, and he's making it more part of it. Because I don't remember Muerto having the power to bring people back to life.
Oh.
And that's like a movie thing. We saw that in the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, you know, it's interesting. But
Yeah.
those new comics feel more like they exist in that world of the
Yeah.
movie. You know.
Well, the Marvel does the same thing
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
where they just kind of like retcon it and they're like, oh yeah, it's this now.
it's exactly right.
And,
So
you know, and I don't even feel like he was retconning. I just feel like when he
was-
did that first comic, he was like, "Oh, this is what I want to do, and I want to have fun with it." And I think it was because, dude, that movie got made out for one comic.
yeah.
Like one issue came out.
Well, the first issue is pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. It's I don't know, it's trippy. Like, it expanded upon a lot of stuff, and it was just like,
Well, the little things.
yeah,
You know. And it starts the same way. Accident. You know.
Mhm.
Friend that's trying to help him.
Yeah.
You know, etc. But I don't know. At the end of it all, it could have done with more.
Maybe.
You know what actually reminded me? I don't know, G-Men from Hell.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Again, Mike
Yeah.
already. You know.
I want to watch that movie. We haven't. That's gonna be on the list next because we still have to finish Six String Samurai and
Oh.
we have to watch G-Men from Hell.
Oh, next time you're here, you know.
Yes,
we'll have a movie night or something.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, I totally had that like indie movie vibe. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool. I tell you, we watched it today.
I mean, watching it, it just took me to like the Donnie Darko
Yeah.
watching it. Like very just like they're not gonna feed you the storyline. You
No.
just have to like be in it and figure out what the hell's going on, which I can appreciate because you know when they're like this happened and this happened and then this happened, you're just kind of like, oh okay, why am I even watching? I could just like listen to it.
Yeah.
You do have to turn on your imagination for
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. We were watching it today, and it was just like, oh, I mean, there's stuff that holds up. I think, and it's stuff that's really cool, like seeing him in the suit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, that
that's
was the
kinda
best part. Like when he turns around and you see like Javier's
the
work
skull,
on the
yeah,
jacket. I literally told him like I want a jacket. Like I would want to make it and then just surprise Javier and be like,
Surprise. You don't. Well, I mean, speaking of the jacket, Javier makes a cameo in that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
you catch that.
and then we joked about that. Like, he has probably the best
Outfit.
superhero cameo ever.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
the
good.
outfit,
Like he had a full little scene, a full dialogue. He had a cool costume.
Yeah.
He had a fully fleshed character.
Yeah.
Like
He talks to his own character.
yeah,
Very
I
meta.
know it's weird, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
And
Yeah.
it's super meta. That's
Yeah.
super meta, you know.
Yeah. This
And
is
and
meta
the funny
before
thing-
meta.
Yeah. What's his name? Michael Parks. Michael
Yeah.
Parks is in it. He's a cop.
Yeah.
Michael Parks always plays a cop.
Yeah.
And me and Javier have joked about how Michael Parks is that Tarantino character. He's a fucking Quick Draw McGraw.
Yeah.
He's the sheriff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez uses him every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so we were watching it. They never say this cop's name.
Oh.
So is he Quick Draw McGraw?
We're just building universes now.
Sure.
Right.
Drama draw universe.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Oh yeah, this kid comes out. Oh, makes sense.
You
to
gotta
me.
ask Javier, and
Yeah.
Javier's gonna be like, "Oh, his name is."
Quick dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah, we always joke about that. I was like, oh, like so then what the movie exists in the shared Quentin Tarantino Robert Rodriguez universe?
What year did the movie come out?
2002.
Oh my god.
The early
Something
2000s.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in elementary school.
No, you know what? No.
Hold on.
6, 7.
2007. Yeah.
Let
no.
me double check just in case. Okay,
6,
I was
7
in high
because
school.
we were con in 2006 when we saw the posters.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
poster that I stole off the wall. I remember that.
Oh yeah, 2007. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I was in like 10th grade.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So that means Freddie went with us that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
he
we're
went
thinking.
to
but
Yeah.
it's literally been since then. Like what, 20? How long ago was 2007?
15
years.
15
Like
years?
it's been quite a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
How weird is that for you guys?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to love a book that long, you know.
Wait a minute, really? 2007?
Yeah, it says 2007.
That's like a year before Iron Man.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
before the MCU
It
inception of
says,
the
yeah,
MCU.
exact. Oh, it's the 15th anniversary
Yeah.
this year.
Mhm.
So he's been doing the books already for 10 at that point.
Yeah. No,
9.
because he did the book, and then they picked it up like within like a year or two.
No, because it's his 25th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
So if that movie's 15 years old, you got to go back another 10.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember in 2002 we were already working at the
Yeah,
comic shop.
Yeah.
So that's when I started coming around.
Shit,
Well,
you're
I
right.
have a question for you guys
Mhm.
as the newbie to the scene and everything.
Mhm.
Not by choice, by birth. But all right. So it's been 15 years since the movie, longer since the comic.
Mhm.
How do you guys feel seeing your friend go from an indie darling to like literally like a Latino legacy and teaching classes and being like that
Yeah.
guy, like the veteran in the industry? Like you've literally seen the jump.
Kind of. I mean, I feel like by the time I met him, he was already kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and when I met him, I had the fanboy in me. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like I didn't even talk to him because, I was so scared of him,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I didn't even have him. I had my issue at one point. I didn't have him sign it because I was too scared to
Yeah.
talk to him, But now it's like I could have a conversation with him with no problem because I know he likes comics. I know what he kind of
Yeah.
does.
Like, you could talk about like old Kirby stuff or Hulk.
Ditko.
Like, oh, yeah,
He
let's
loves
talk
the
about
Ditko,
that, Spider-Man.
That's what we're always talking about old comics.
Yeah.
And he's always telling me like we like the same comics. I'm like, yeah, we kind of do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you guys literally were like, buying his comic
Mhm.
at a mall, and now he's like
Yeah.
hosting conventions
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
panels, and he's like, what would you say, like a person people interview for the
Mhm.
culture,
Oh, yeah, all
and
the time.
like established as a higher up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did a comic with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys did.
We did a comic
Talk
with
about that.
Little comic. Well,
So, you want to tell the story?
go ahead.
I gotta tell the story. So, the trailer for Batman vs Superman came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I
What year
remember,
was that?
and I remember like making fun. I was like this movie looks ridiculous. It's so like edgy and this and that,
Gritty.
gritty. And so I jokingly told Javier,
Oh, that was 2016.
yeah,
Mhm.
I jokingly told Javier, oh, you know what, we should do a comic making fun of it. And we were doing Nightmare already. We had a couple of zines and stuff. And so I said, let's do Muerto versus Nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be making fun of the BVS. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, oh, no, I didn't know. I didn't even say let's do it. I said like, oh, would it be funny if we did?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, shit. And then he was like, let's have a meeting. Remember we met him at like gyms?
The gyms, yeah.
That's cool.
And we had a meeting. And
Yeah.
at this point, our friend Patrick hadn't met him yet.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, could I come with you guys?
It was his turn to fanboy at Javier.
And we told him, we're like, no, like, right?
It's a meeting.
And so, so we went and we met with him, and he took it very seriously. Like, we were just like, oh, this is a stupid little thing. We thought it was funny. And
I was scared.
Yeah.
I remember being scared going there and being, I have no idea what we're doing here.
Yeah. Because he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And he took it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And
I read it. It's cool.
Yeah. It's silly, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like the fact that he was just like, let's do it. And you guys did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, he sketched it out for us.
Mm-hmm.
He basically came with some papers that like he sketched out and he gives them to me. He goes, here, draw it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And he said he wanted to ink El Muerto.
Yeah, that's the only
He's
thing.
like, I'll just ink my character. And we're like, oh, all right.
No.
I mean, his inking is very iconic. So.
Yeah.
And so we did that comic, and then it just happened. I think the fall around April.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, let's put it out on
April 1st. Yeah, April 1st.
And we advertised it on social media as like a real thing. Like oh, it's a comic we're doing with Javier Hernandez. And we're gonna have a signing.
Right? We have nachos.
And nachos.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just funny. It was just,
Yeah.
I just trip out that he was down to do that. He
Yeah.
was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
All right, I have a pitch for you guys then. Since it is okay, so you guys talked about Nightmare already in the past podcast episode with it with Adolfo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which hasn't come out. It's gonna come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're in the future. Yeah, so for those of you who listen to this, it's in the past and it's out already. Go listen to it. But Nightmare is Pete and Cruz's comic, and they're planning to bring it back because I'm bullying them into it because I said I would color it. But what if you do a meta where she's watching a 15th anniversary like Blu-ray of
About Berto.
El Muerto.
Well, I could work. Well, the only thing about that would be because at the end, I kind of added the whole Looney Tune ending.
Yeah.
I put Roger actually drawing that comic book.
Yeah.
You know,
So that means that El Muerto exists as
Yeah.
some kind of fiction, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta like bring it back
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
because Nightmare's coming back. It's the anniversary of El Muerto. Like all these things are happening.
yeah,
I think it would be cool. I think the fans of like the shop, because the shop's been around for 10 years, and fans of like you guys and Nightmare and of course of Javier would appreciate like something fun like that.
maybe.
Yeah, you might be down.
It's punk rock. It's like when a cool band releases like an album 30 years later.
Yeah, of stuff they had 30 years ago.
And you're like, holy shit, they wrote a song about lettuce.
Some stuff that sucked back then. Like,
We'll put in Bush jokes.
there you go.
But I think that would be cool. I mean,
That'd be fun.
maybe the only fan would be like me and a couple others with all the crossover. But I think that would be cool.
All I remember from that day was that Roswell, Patrick's son, ate his weight in cheese.
Yeah,
Because we ran out of chips, right? And he just like
Just kept eating cheese.
well, we didn't print a lot. We print like 50 of them. Or
Yeah,
something.
we didn't print a lot of them.
You know, 50 of them, and I only have like 3 left.
That means they're rare. If you guys
Mhm.
have one, you have a 1 in 50.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I have 3.
I don't even have one.
No, got one.
No, I gotta get one.
And then it had my favorite cover homage,
Which one?
which is the first appearance of Superboy, the Connor Kentner
Oh,
boy,
right.
when he's like pointing to the S in
Yeah.
the back. So we have Nightmare, and she's wearing Elmer's jacket,
Mm.
and she's pointing at
We
Yeah,
gotta bring that back too.
yeah, and it was funny because like I just kind of sketched that out. You're
Yeah.
like, that'd be great. That'd
Well,
be
I mean,
fantastic.
Since you guys have drawn that,
Mhm.
not to like date everyone, but like there's technology now where we can do it again and easier
Uh,
and like cleaner. And I know it takes out some of the cool punk rockness,
yeah, you could
But-
color it if you want.
but then we could get crazy.
Yeah,
That's true.
we color it this time.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, because the original was black and white.
Black and white,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like 2 pages, right?
yeah.
2 or 3 pages. Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
We'll do the color edition, special edition.
I mean, if
limited run.
you're on it, you're on it. All right,
I'll scan the pages. I just need the pages.
they're right there. There's no problem.
Yeah. But that was crazy. I'm thinking back, like we did a comic with
With-
Javier Hernandez.
Little tiny thing. Yeah.
And I know they were being sarcastic, but did you hear him at the signing where Rafael was admiring your drawing of Sonámbulo and El Muerto? And Javier said, "Oh, let's just get Pete and Cruz to do that comic." And Rafael responded, "Well, who better?"
No, he did what?
Yeah.
What? I saw Rafael take a picture of
Yeah.
it, you know, and he
Mhm.
posted it up on his
Yeah.
Instagram, but I didn't hear that part of the
Yeah.
conversation.
You guys are the next them. You're
Well,
gonna carry on the legacy.
Peter doesn't know how to draw,
I don't know.
and I know how
But
to
he's a
write.
writer, and you know how to draw.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about Rafael and
But they both do both.
Both, yeah.
Well, you know what? It's gonna be half-assed,
Well,
Okay,
but it's half-ass is better than no ass.
Well. I do have a whole ass.
yeah, well,
So, or you learn to draw, you learn to
I
write.
Yeah.
can't draw. Let me tell you the story.
Uh-huh.
We talk about that. We're doing comic
tried.
strips
Okay.
at college.
Yeah,
And 1 week we had nothing, right? We couldn't think of anything. We
Mhm.
were just stuck.
yeah.
Oh man,
And this guy's like, I got an idea. He goes, all right, and you draw it. And I'm like, okay. And that was like the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life.
And where is it?
Somewhere.
You guys gotta find
Yeah.
it.
And it's ridiculous.
You gotta find it so we can post it on the ComiCentric Instagram and everyone can see it.
it's. I mean, if Eli still has the archives, maybe you can find it there.
I feel like they would.
Yeah.
You just gotta ask the right people.
But that was the hardest. And then I totally cheated.
Mhm.
Because I drew it.
Mhm.
But then I was like, here, ink this.
No, not just that. The last panel, I did the last panel.
Oh,
So he has 3 panels.
Yeah.
you only put a quarter ass.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's funny too. There's a rocket
Mhm.
for some reason, right? There's a rocket in here.
Mhm.
And that was the nicest thing I've ever drawn. Like I was like, it really came out really good.
Yeah.
But we needed a porthole. And
Yeah.
I took a dime and I tried
You couldn't even draw a circle?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I forgot what I wrote in it, but I just wrote gibberish too. I didn't know what I was writing.
That's funny.
Yeah. But the best line was at the end when
Yeah.
Gina's pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
So basically the joke is
Yeah.
our boss was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop doing this. Like,
I mean, that's fun. I like when
Yeah.
people just get creative and do stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, Donnie Cates
Mhm.
I feel like all the new guys play meta jokes and pranks and appreciate
Yeah.
that kind of stuff now, so it's fun.
Yeah, meta is fun.
Yeah.
Okay. And we spend most of the time talking about Mr. Javier Hernandez, but I mean, it's something she's seen.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about Rafael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously have not read his stuff yet, but you saw the book, right? That we have right
I
there.
was going through it. I didn't finish it, but
Yeah.
I just really appreciate the artwork.
Yeah,
The artwork is really nice.
the man is talented when it comes.
I
to
mean, I follow him on Instagram, so I see the art he does, and I really like his style, his
Yeah.
artistic style.
I mean, when he draws fast too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I haven't seen this movie yet. Please don't get mad at me, sir. That's why.
That's why, yeah. No, I mean the character does deserve
Yeah.
a movie. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it deserves something like
Yeah,
that.
it like jumps off the page. I'm surprised there's not like a if anything a short. He should pitch it to like Adult Swim on Cartoon Network or HBO Max because I feel like it
Mitchell
belongs
probably.
there.
Yeah.
It's very dark and gritty, and it does remind me of like those old lucha movies from you know when they would wear suits with the
Yeah.
mask on.
Like,
Mhm.
You
have
know?
you guys seen Batman Brave and the Bold?
Yeah.
I feel like they could totally do it in that style.
That's still
And
too
it would
bright,
be
but
super cool.
yeah,
Like just the blocky with the heavy outlines, like that would be so cool.
yeah, that could probably work.
But I will finish reading the book. I will get to it.
It's always fun, like the little lucha movies.
I'm not saying Javier paid me to watch it. No, I'm just kidding. He did not pay me whatsoever to read his stuff or watch the movie.
My God, can't be saying that.
There was no compensation whatsoever. But if he wants to get me some Biggie fries, I will not say no.
Yeah,
But yeah, those old lucha movies were great. Like what that's inspired from. Like you get the supernatural stuff and they fight monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
But my favorite is always when they go to space.
yeah,
And then they're in the trunks and the fucking mask and they're wearing the bubble
the
helmet.
bubble helmet only.
That's my
But there's
favorite.
something so iconic
Yeah.
about that. Like growing up, I remember like seeing like the comics my grandpa would read, like the
Mhm.
Mexican comics,
Mhm.
and they feel like Sonámbulo,
Mhm.
and it just feels very authentic because even in our culture, everything's mixed, like
Yeah.
wrestling and mysticism and
Mhm.
religion and everything goes well together. And
Well,
I think you could see it in
yeah.
his work.
Or the luchadors are like the closest thing we have to like real life superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because half the time you don't know who it is.
Nope.
Yeah.
And to the point where like when they die, they bury them with,
With
the
the
mask
mask
on.
on.
Yeah,
and
I
it's like,
know.
Yeah.
Well, they have like they're freaking icons in our culture.
Oh
like
yeah.
their families have freaking like they're dynasties. They're literally
Yeah.
dynasties.
Mhm.
Like did you see that the Santo versus the Demogorgon?
Yes. Oh man, that blew my mind. I
Right.
wanted merch of that.
Yeah.
Like out of all the Stranger Things like I've ever seen
Mhm.
of like what do you call it, like collabs they've
Mhm.
done, that was the best one I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
But I'm also biased because I'm Mexican.
So I mean, having said that, you're definitely gonna like Sonámbulo. then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like if they do a mask, a lucha mask that's like Demogorgon shaped,
Yeah.
freaking cool.
And Sonámbulo is really cool. It's very noir. It's very
No, yeah.
like old school detective.
Yeah.
But with supernatural elements.
Yeah.
And luchadors.
Yeah. Like I want to read it, but I want to respect it and actually read it, and not
Mhm.
just like flip through and be like, oh, I'll finish this later. You know, like I want to read it.
Yeah, give it its due diligence.
No, yeah, exactly. Especially for it being like what 25 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is like 2/4 of my life that it has existed.
Yeah.
Or not 2/4. I don't know math. 2/3 of my life.
That's another book I also read at the Galaxy when I was there,
Ah.
because we had it there for the
Yeah.
longest time.
Yeah, we had
I
it.
don't think I've ever seen single issues of it.
Yeah.
We have them here.
We
Somewhere.
have it? Where?
It's a box.
Oh, that means we're never gonna see them ever. But I would like to see like the different covers
Mhm.
and the pinups and like see the more world than just what's in the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
Does he color it himself too?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mhm. He did those great two tones. Like we're like I'm still blown away by like he did a thing on the canvas.
Yeah.
Our store canvas. I'm blown away by how quickly he did that, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't look like something you can do by hand. Like it's crazy.
I think he went straight inks. I didn't see
Yeah.
him use a pencil. I don't know.
Mhm.
I have to check it out, but it looked really, really
Yeah.
like his style.
Yeah.
15 minutes and did it. He was drawing a Batman actually
Yeah.
before that,
Mhm.
and he did like a who's taking the video?
I'm drawing.
Joanna was taking the video. She said it was done in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He did. I mean,
I don't know if you saw that posted up.
I saw him working on the Batman, and that blew my mind because I was
Yeah.
like, this Batman is so sick. Like it
Yeah.
looks so cool.
Yeah, he's got a really iconic style. Like it's different, and it's like you could just tell. Like you see it Rafael Navarro drawing, you're like, oh,
That's
Rafael
Rafael.
Navarro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be said for Javier.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
you know?
No, they both like
Yeah.
once you see it, you know, you're like, oh, it's Javier and that's Rafael's work.
Yeah.
Like even never having met Rafael, I could probably pinpoint his work
Yeah.
by looking at it.
That's good.
Which is really cool because like when we watched the movie today and the first drawing that popped up, we were
Yeah.
like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, like the opening sequence was just so iconic. Just looking at it, I was like, oh man, did he draw all that?
You're right, because it switches between real and the
Yeah.
comic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Mhm.
I love that. I like that they left that touch in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So there's an interesting fact
Mm.
about Navarro.
he has a mustache.
Yes, that I always tease him about.
Mm.
And I almost brought it up again at this signing. Rafael Navarro was working animation.
Yeah.
One of his big jobs was he worked on the Rugrats.
Aventuras en pañales? Are you serious?
And a couple years ago, Boom Studios had a Rugrats comic.
Uh-huh.
We have
Why didn't you?
we have a blank variant
Oh
of
my
Rugrats #1.
Bro.
He's had this running thing. Every time I'm going through the blanks, he goes, "I'm gonna get him to draw on this." He was here in the store for a signing.
Yeah.
But one time I joked and I posted it on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, next time Rafael Navarro comes in, I'm gonna give him a draw on this."
Yeah.
His response was like, "Oh man, I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks."
Just because everything said on a podcast is fact and concrete and like legally binding. I'm
Fudge.
just kidding. No, I'm just gonna say, Rafael, as a new fan, I would appreciate if you come to the store and let us record you drawing on this blank.
This is Rugrats.
Is it, the Rugrats blank.
Like, this is Rugrats.
Yeah, this is for the next generation.
I mean, what was he doing though? I mean, he
I
could
don't know.
Okay.
All I know is that like one of his credits is Rugrats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or come back on the podcast and Cruz can get the story because I want to know this.
Yeah. That'd be
And then the other thing he told me he did, he worked on Stripperella.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stan Lee Stripperella.
Stan Lee Stripperella.
I don't remember that part.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was a man of many faces.
That he was.
He worked on that. I don't know what he did on that, but he worked on that.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. See, we gotta get him on here and pick his brain.
I'd like to, because I mean, I was able to talk to him for like at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, no,
before the signing.
And it was very entertaining. I told Cruz when I was listening to the playback, I was like, it did not feel like 10 minutes.
It felt longer.
You guys fit a lot in that little time.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to actually get them for like a full hour. And,
Yeah. They didn't answer my question, the one I really wanted answered, boxers or briefs.
oh my gosh. It's clearly boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
You get the shape and the comfort, but also the dependability.
Mhm. You kind of want that, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's handy.
I just started asking everybody that.
That should be just your running question.
Yeah. Boxers or briefs.
Mm-hmm.
Pantaloons.
The parakeets.
That's
what that is. I thought it
yeah.
was screaming children.
No, the parakeets.
We should probably point out that we're outside.
Oh yeah, we
We're
should have done
outside.
that in the beginning.
Welcome to the first edition of the Outside
Yeah.
ComiCentric.
Yeah, we have a little patio in the back,
Mhm.
maybe about the size of 2 dead bodies, and we're able to
Not
fit.
that we would know that.
But we're able to fit 3 people sitting down.
Yeah.
So
That's not bad actually. Like it's bigger than I thought it was.
yeah,
No,
and
it
it's
feels
fresh.
really good.
Mhm.
Cruz cleaned it up back here. Put
Yeah.
little lights. We
Yeah.
actually fit 4 people if we put the table correctly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I like doing the podcast back here.
That's
It's pretty
nice.
cool.
The last time you did it, you're dying inside.
Oh yeah, we, as you guys know, podcast mics pick up everything. So
Yeah.
we had to turn off the fan, the air, everything. I was dying.
Yeah.
It's California. It's hot.
And we got pair of cakes now in the background.
And the parakeets that we can deal with.
It beats the cars running in the
I
front.
mean, it does sound
The
like.
cricket, I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
true.
we'll see once you do the playback.
Oh.
See, you're just jinxed it, man. That
Yeah.
little fucking raccoon's gonna show up and be like banging on the.
Speaking of raccoon, just gonna throw this out there. I found out today that the raccoon used in Raccoon Cooney in Everything Everywhere All at Once is a real dead raccoon.
Yeah, it's taxidermy.
Yeah.
It looks so janky, but now it makes sense.
Why it looks that way?
Yeah, because it's real dead.
It's a nice little tangent there.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Just
Mhm.
full circle.
Full
there.
circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
All right, getting back to topic.
I thought, what was that?
I forgot.
Boxers of briefs.
Boxers or briefs. No, well, I mean, that's it. I mean, at this point, I'm probably gonna play back the interview.
Mhm.
Oh, it's gonna go right here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wait, we missed one thing we gotta talk about. we've been pressuring them to do their Sonámbulo El Muerto crossover.
Oh, very much true.
Yes,
the,
yes,
yes.
the crossover
They-
that we only got lithograph for.
They keep teasing it, man. We keep getting lithographs. We get like images.
Yeah.
Where's the book?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
shame them. You guys are not getting any younger.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. We're all closer to death every single day. So
Yeah.
why not make a comic about it?
Well, I mean, from what they tell me, it's like they just don't know who's gonna do
Yeah.
what.
And then they also want to do it Treasury
You just
Treasury
split
edition
it.
size.
Big. I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind.
I would love that.
I wouldn't
I
mind
love
that.
old
I'm gonna just tell them, all right, you get one page, you get one page. You do one page, you do one page.
Yeah, no, that would look too weird. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand
Or
why
they could
would
do like the image thing where they just draw their own character.
That would look weird too. I think.
get someone to do the background,
Maybe,
and then
yeah.
they do their own character.
But their characters look so unique.
Mhm.
So would you guys like how would they do
You-
that?
you
Unless
know-
they both conform to
Yeah.
a new style? I
Well,
don't know.
I've seen drawings that Javier has penciled and,
Yeah.
and Rafael's inked,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool because you can see both the styles there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but
So
That would
ideally,
be
that's what
cool.
you would pick.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be cool if Javier draws it and he inks it. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I don't know, but who would write it?
Yeah.
See, at that point,
Pete?
I'm down.
Well,
But no.
my
I'm
goodness.
throwing his hat in
No,
the rain.
No.
No.
That's-
I
Because
mean,
he doesn't already have so much to do.
but the thing is, like, and then I remember talking to Javier about it, and he says it like kind of sarcastically, but like it does make sense. Like he said, like oh no, it's like the freaking Superman and Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
it was a lot of debate of like who can do what, and who's better at this, who's better at that. It's like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I mean, you're sticking with the character for 25 years.
Yeah.
It's like the freaking Rock and Vin Diesel. It's like oh who gets hurt more, who gets right.
There's a way to balance it, or
Yeah.
not even have it about that, but have like a third character storyline that's pushing it
Yeah.
along. But I mean, they've both been doing it for so long, and they're clearly both strong.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like they can both bring stuff to the table.
And I
just
don't like
make it
that
work.
when you add another character to the mix, a
No.
third character play. That's always dumb to me
Yeah.
because you're forcing that at that point.
What was his name? Access. Access.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'm just gonna pitch the story. El Muerto misses the bus. He's downtown LA. Sonámbulo is like, all right, I'll pick you up, but he's circling Union Station. He's like, what side are you on? And Muerto's like, I'm on the east side. He's like, I'm on the east side. He's like, well, clearly, are you on Cesar Chavez? And then it's just like them trying to get back together, That's it. That's the story.
That's the story. Just around Union Station.
Yeah.
At one point, they end up at Placita Alvera because it's right across the street.
Oh, exactly.
Done.
And then they're
have
just like
tacos.
sitting right there at Cielito Lindo just eating.
Done.
Like
Finished.
imagine the cool like Rafael painting the Union Station like clock tower,
Mhm.
and then like Javier drawing like them just chilling, sitting there, or on the donkey. That's the variant
Oh.
cover.
Oh man.
On the
You know
donkey.
the history of that donkey, right?
No,
Oh man.
I don't
That donkey was brought from Mexico.
like that donkey.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was confiscated by the police at one point because
it full of drugs?
it was full of
Oh,
drugs.
shit. I did not know that. That would be a cool part of the story, though. Like if they accidentally like break the donkey and it opens and there's a bunch of cocaine inside.
My God.
Like it could turn into like trying to pick him up at the Union Station into a drug bust.
Well, we're
Like
having her write the story
drug
now.
cartel action comic. And Rafael and Javier, call me if you need more.
I'm gonna send this straight to them. I'm
Okay.
not. I'm just gonna be like, look, what do you think? I cut the snippet. She has the story now. You guys gotta just figure out who's drawing it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I have great ideas, but
But yeah.
Pete has a story that's 3 times the size now.
But not by choice. Okay.
Boy.
But yeah. I mean, I think she solved their problem, right? They
Pretty
don't know
much.
what the story is.
It's pretty
Yeah,
much.
because this print, this lithograph,
Mhm.
I'm like, what is this story? Because they're in a temple
Yeah.
and there's zombies
Mm.
and he's
Holding a shield.
yeah, Alberto's holding an Aztec shield.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I'm like, what? I want this. What is this story?
They were in Placita Olvera.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, look, there's a exhibit about like our culture. Let's go get educated because everyone should go do
Yeah.
that. Go to museums. They're free on certain days. So then they go and then like Sonámbulo accidentally like backs up and knocks over the shield and he picks it up and then the light hits it and like shines on like this, Aztec like blood sacrifice thingy. And then all the people in the museum become zombies and they have to fight them.
there it is. See?
Gosh.
I'm an idea machine.
You are full of them. Jeez
And
Louise.
then it still ends with them eating at Celito
Well, you
Negro.
have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
On the donkey.
On donkeys. I just always found that funny. That donkey that we were all taking pictures with
Yeah.
Yeah.
as children.
Yeah.
Was full of drugs.
Full of drugs at one point.
It's very on brand
Oh, yeah.
for LA.
I guess. I don't question it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the other time I wrote an article about it because it was like the anniversary. Like donkey had been there for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Jesus. All right. Anything else?
I don't know.
Just gonna throw. I in no way mean any harm with my jokes, but I'm 100% serious. That if you need help, call me. And thank you, Chris, for having me on here.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You've met Javier, but you haven't met Rafael yet.
No, I'm sure I will. We'll
Yeah.
cross paths.
You know what? I heard rumors that we might get a Latino expo before the end of the year.
Oh, well, I'll probably meet him there
Yeah.
then.
Another one?
I've heard rumors.
Okay.
So we'll take you to that one.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll force you to take a picture with
With the Han Solo.
the.
Good
Yeah,
time.
good time.
Good time.
All right, and I guess at this point, now you
Now.
people
Okay.
will be hearing the interview I did with them. It's only like 10 minutes, but hopefully you guys enjoy.
it. It's fun.
And for the rest of you, since I won't be back, have a good rest of the day, evening, or night, and bye.
Bye.
Hey, Ralph,
And Nick is interviewing me right now.
no, he's not. He's interviewing me.
No, he's not.
Stop being so self-important.
Okay, guys.
All
It was already recording, so you got that part too.
Wonderful. Don't air that.
Yeah, don't no worries, I'll cut it out.
I should put my mask on at least.
Yeah, we can all talk like this.
Hey,
Rob, what's your name? What?
Huh?
Everyone's Sonámbulo.
I'll make it quick. I'll
No.
and painless as
You're
much
good.
as I can.
Okay.
All right.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
3.
Cool. And with me again is Mr. Javier Hernandez and Mr. Rafael Navarro. Let's start with you, Mr. Rafael Navarro. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Well, my name is Rafael Navaro, as you aptly pointed
Mm-hmm.
out, and I'm here with my dear friend Javier Hernandez. We
Mhm.
are celebrating the wondrous and amazing world of comic books with our own comics, indie produced, of course.
Of course.
Homegrown here locally in Los Angeles, Whittier to be exact, between the two of us, and we're here at Nostalgic Comic Shop to celebrate that.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Javier?
Yes, here we are at the all-new, all-different X-Men. The all-new, all-different Nostalgic Comics at the new location. It's good to be here. You guys got your new beautiful sign outside.
Mhm.
Me and Ralph are tag teaming today to bring you our various comic book empires, Sonámbulo and El Muerto.
Yes.
Ralph is celebrating his 25 years of Sonámbulo. I'm at 24 with El Muerto, so that's almost 50 years of indie comics gold between the two of us.
It's someone's midlife crisis out there.
The person that collected all of them has 50 years worth of stuff in their hands right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
If not, they can finish collecting
Yeah.
what we got. Yeah.
And I mean, it's 25 years each. Let's say, how did you guys even start that?
Oh gosh. Well, I guess I should start with that question because I think between the two of us, I was the one dumb enough to decide to get into comics and
Yeah.
everything. I just was looking for something that was out there, and I could never find what I was looking for in comics. That is,
Mhm.
and I eventually I just the heck with this. I could wait for somebody to make something I wanted to do, or I just roll up my sleeves and just do it myself. And that's what happened.
You just put pen and paper?
Essentially, yeah, I just tried to fulfill something that was missing in the zeitgeist, at least for myself.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. And Mr. Javier Hernandez?
Yeah. For me, it was like I'd always loved comics, and then
Mhm.
when you're a teenager in your 20s, whatever, like I want to do comics.
Mhm.
Like, what does that mean back then? But I never wanted to work for Marvel or DC, or at least for the longest time. Like it got pounded out of me pretty quick, only because I read enough about comics, like
Mhm.
histories and interviews, and it's like, man, they treated some of these guys like crap.
Yeah.
And that didn't sit well with me. It's like, why would I want to work in a business like that? Or at least for particular publishers, because I still love comics. I love the art form. I love the medium.
Yeah.
But yeah, independent comics have long been around. I mean, definitely, Wally Wood started his the prozine
Oh, yes.
Wits End.
Wits End,
I think late
Good
60s.
stuff, yeah.
the underground stuff. Of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Mhm.
in the early '80s was the big, probably the huge turning point. Like, yeah, you know what? You can do comics on your own, like own your own work, and then somehow work your butt off and get it out there because it takes a lot of work. So I decided, well, I want to make comics, but I'm going to make, yeah, like Ralph said, I'm going to make my comics, so my characters, my stories, and that's how I got started because I wanted to put comics out there. But
Well, it's true. I mean, and with both of your books, it takes a little bit of the culture, Mexican culture, the wrestling and the Muerto, the Day of the Dead, and it fuses them into comics, something you really didn't see because those Spanish comics at the times were more like action adventure, like a Chanoc or Caliman or something like that.
Oh,
So it was more action, more adventure, more romance and stuff like that. This gave us more. I mean, we had, I guess, some comics that were like, La Plata, Máscara Platada, and stuff like that.
El Máscara de Plata.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that takes stuff from there, and you take that and you make it into a noir thing. I mean, how trippy is that? And not just that, the guy goes into people's dreams.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you filled a void that wasn't even people didn't even know was there.
Some magic in that soda pop in there somewhere. I
Ye-
drink from time to time.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, whatever you're taking, let me have a little bit of that.
But to reiterate what Hob was saying, I mean, nothing beats personal visions. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I for one had the pleasure of working in the mainstream comic book industry, if only briefly. But while I was there long enough to realize that I could continue this and continue to make other people's dreams get fulfilled, or I could take a chance and try to fulfill mine.
Mm.
And that's another incentive for people to try to do that. If you think you have a provocative story to tell,
Okay.
and you can't do it by yourself, you need a writer or some collaborator or an artist. If you're a writer, I mean, just do it. Get out of get it out of your system.
Mhm.
It would be best for you to say you tried, you got something out there, or you did get something out there and it made its run, as opposed to just sitting around 20, 30 years, 25 years from now, lamenting of what could have been had you had the chance or the courage to do so.
well, that's a scary thought. Yeah, to think that we never did this. Like
Oh,
wherever
yeah.
we'd be working, like we'd be thinking, man, 25 years ago I thought about
I'd
this.
be like angrier, a little more intense. Be like, you'd be calling me, hey Ralph, how you doing? How am I doing? Let me tell you how I'm doing. Yeah, I just have this unfulfilled tension that needs to be fulfilled, but I don't know why, Javier.
I guess I'll go back to my day job Mondays.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I know. You're right.
Oh,
It's not
it's-
getting.
Working a 9 to 5, wearing a collared shirt every day. No, I don't think
Never.
so. No, I
It's
don't think.
insomnia.
You know what? You guys having said that, it's funny because when I first read your guys' stuff was when I was working at Comic Galaxy. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's where I got your book, and that's where I got your book.
Mhm.
And then one of the things was they were telling me you guys were local. You guys from Whittier or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, these guys are local. That actually helped me and my friend Pete develop our own stories.
Nice, dude.
Wow.
Wow.
and you guys were right. We had stories to tell. Nightmare came out of that.
Right.
I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
Nightmare came out of that. Just us doing it. You guys are definitely inspirations when it came to that.
One thing that, and I know inspired me and Ralph, because we each have our own comic influences.
Of course.
Jack Kirby's, the Alex Toss, the Dick Fools. But in the mid '90s, when we're thinking of our ideas, I mean, we were lucky enough that the Hernandez brothers were already up and out doing Love and
Yeah.
Rockets for, I don't know, maybe almost 10 years. And me and Ralph became aware of other independent Latino creators like Carlos Saldana,
Uh-huh.
who does Burrito. He's
Burrito.
actually here in Los Angeles. Then we find other comics like Richard Dominguez of El Gato Negro, Laura Molina, Jaguar. So we had already seen, okay,
Yeah.
there was already some independent, like Mexican American creators doing their own thing. So that also helps spur us on as far as not just Ninja Turtles or Jack Kirby, but
Yeah.
like you're saying, people kind of from your area.
From your
and
area.
Same background.
Well, the Hernandez brothers, I didn't know about them till after you guys.
Yeah.
Even though they were big already, and
Yeah,
people in the music scene even knew about them.
Yeah.
I didn't know until after. I got a couple of shows, Love Rockets, and I was like, "What is this?
Mhm.
These lines are so nice."
Yeah,
You
beautiful art.
So,
They're
Stellar art. Yeah.
Oxnard area, so north of here, Los Angeles.
yeah. And actually, I got to meet him at the Latino convention that we had a couple. Yeah, I got to meet him. I talked to him. I kind of extended my arm to be like, "Hey, you guys want to go to the East LA Comic Con if we ever bring that back?"
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, okay, maybe we'll talk."
You
Yeah,
never
yeah.
know.
You never know.
Aw.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned a couple of creators. What are you guys reading now? Are you even reading now?
A grinding home. Well,
Yeah.
nothing new, but no, I read, we read a lot. But I read. I'm right now. I'm knee deep into like reading like Golden Age Ghost Rider,
Mm-hmm.
like the old Western.
With the mask and
yeah,
the horse.
yeah, the horse, the cowboy. It's all white costume,
Yeah.
white horse. So those comics came out in like 1950 from another company, not Marvel or DC. So they, Dick Ayers drew the first, you know, several years worth, and then eventually, I guess the copyright, they quit doing the book, and then like late '60s, Marvel had the idea, like, hey, no one's using this Ghost Rider concept, let's do our own. So,
Okay.
but I'm reading a lot of that right now, Golden Age Ghost Rider.
Well, now that Javier saved that part of the conversation, so we won't have to actually admit that we're not really up on anything new. Yes, I do tend to revisit things from the past as well too. Of late, I've been revisiting the John Carter World of Mars run from Marvel,
neat.
and I'm also rereading the book, the Mars books, at the same time. It's because it's getting hot, so therefore it reminds me of Barsoom and my yearning for Deja Thoris in my life. But yeah, I always tend to revisit the old classics, so to speak, because it ignites the love, for the craft for me. Once more.
Well,
so.
I shouldn't say what's new. I guess what are you currently reading then from now on?
Right. Well, I could be reading the newspaper.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's got comic strips in there. Yeah.
As dismal as they may be.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, like I said, we're not going to keep it too long, but another question here: boxers or briefs?
Yes. Long boxes.
Long boxes. No, I mean, when it comes to that, it's just a random question. Not really. I'll probably take that off anyway. Any upcoming projects you guys are working on right now?
I'm finishing up the second Muerto graphic novel, Casa del Diablo. So that's probably the main thing I'm working on.
Okay.
That I can talk about. Well,
I'm going to continue with my 25th anniversary celebration of Sonámbulo's first adventure. I'm also planning to release another collection in a nice fancy schmancy hardcover. Ooh. And this might be updated for a major update for other people to know, but I am working on a second Guns Ablazing story right now with co-creator Mike Wallman.
Mike Wallman, yeah. Okay, and you guys are going to keep this tour going? You guys going to visit other places after this?
Well, I do have. Well, I mean, we are planning to get dinner afterwards. If you want to join us?
Oh, maybe, sure. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, we do have plans to do signings. Whether we're going to team up together or not. I guess that depends on who's buying dinner first.
Okay. Wait. So this is the only time you guys are going to be together here?
Well, I mean, yeah. I see this guy way too frequently. Seriously, it's just not that I'm complaining, mind you, but I think he needs a break from me.
Well, you guys 25 years together. Were you guys friends before that?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I've known this man since college.
Oh.
Yeah. Cerritos College for the local people.
We used to draw naked chicks and dudes together.
Huh.
I'll put that in your
life drawing class.
Oh.
Yeah, and for educational purpose sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah, so we met there, and we just started talking comics.
Next thing you know, it's in like 25 years later.
Well, no, it's more than 25. I'm just 25 doing the comics, but it's almost probably 30 years.
I stand corrected. You're right.
Yeah, because it was it's always based on the Batman movie. But Batman Returns,
1992. Oh, 92. Okay,
that's when we saw that.
Yeah, we saw that together. But I know for a fact that when I was in De Leon's class, I was waiting for the Batman movie to come out in the summer of was it June 21st?
I think I probably met in the fall.
Yeah,
afterwards. But no,
I think it was the fall before. Probably.
It's been 30 years.
30 years. Okay, well in that case, first customers come in, so we're going to cut it out now.
Okey-dokey.
Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And
thanks for hosting us.
No, thank you guys again. Thank you very much.
All right. Awesome.
That's the first people came in.
Good time. So you're wrapping up anyway, so perfect.